Hi, this is Brigitte with Brighidsees, and we're going to look at the October skies for October 2022. We have a lot to go over today, and so I'm going to be stumbling over some things because this is not my natural element. I like one-on-one much better. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the general overview of everything. So just for October, we have the full moon in Taurus, which will bring the completion of things, and things that are hidden will be unhidden. The new moon eclipse is in 1025. Or I always have trouble saying this one, Orionid meteor shower. God forgive me, I'm so sorry. And it's 1010. So, and then Venus superior, which means that the focus is going to be the planet basically starting a trine on 1022. There's a conjunction between Earth and Venus, which will be interesting and will affect all signs, especially those that are ruled by Venus. 1023 Saturn goes direct, and 1030 Mars stations retrograde. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Now, I hope you know that as the Earth is in the kind of system, the solar system, each like it takes us 24 hours to go all the way around in our own how do I want to say spin. And then within the Earth, it takes 365 days. So that, yes, that makes mysteriously a year. But with Jupiter, every 12 years, there is an absolute different kind of, you might change your job because Jupiter rules professions and not necessarily complete money, but things that have to do with life work. Every 12 years, you'll notice that there is a, how do I want to say, a change. Venus is 225 days. Mars is 687. Mercury is 80. That's why like 3 or 4 times a year, depending on how we do the Gregorian calendar, Mercury goes retrograde. Uranus is 84 years, so it's kind of generational. And we're kind of on the harbinger of the age of Aquarius. So Saturn is 30 years. It starts at the age of 7 for most people, and then goes every 30 years. There's a cycle. Pluto is 248 years, and we are on the cycle for United States Pluto return. So we have emphasis on government and politics. Before that, I think it was the Civil War. You can look these up. And Neptune is 165 years. So Neptune, I know it's very controversial, but I notice like every 165 years we have some sort of a disease. It's just kind of the same thing happens. If you look back 165 years, there was some sort of a plague, and you look back from that 165 years, there was another plague. Not at all to discount the fact that people, how do I want to say, their lives are inextricably changed. So, but I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Brigitte. If you like my podcast, please like and share. This is going to be the October forecast. I'm going to do a little general reading first. This podcast is brought to you by DNA Sales and Selkie's Treasures, as well as Intuition Nutrition. And we will have them on later in the year. I also have a set of classes that we'll be doing, little mini classes like for journaling and vision board classes, so that we can set up our intentions to live our best lives. You can do these one-on-one. We'll do a little setup beforehand in which we will get a taste of what the class is for. And if you decide it's yours, you can go into DNA Sales, and we do a small, intimate group for the class, or you can do one-on-one with me at StreamYard, or you can we can do it over the phone. Each one has a 30-minute free consultation at the end of it, just for trying it. So, okay, so we're going to go into a general forecast for each and every sign. The interesting thing about the configurations of October is there's certain aspects that are affecting everyone, and another kind of aspect that is only affecting some. And in every problem, there's a, how do I want to say, opportunity. So I don't want to seem negative, but maybe a challenge. That's what it is. So there's like 5 to 6 planets, depending on when you actually listen to this podcast, in retrograde. Mars and Jupiter, we're all doing a past review. We're looking at our past and deciding whether we've made the best choices with things. So, so there's old opportunities and old loves come back, kind of to, what do I want to say? To kind of say, hey, I'm still here. You haven't dealt with me. So with that being said, let's look at each sign and decide how things are going to turn out. Now, if you have an exact question, you see my email at the bottom. Go ahead and email me. I can answer your question. You need to put your date of birth in there and just your first name. And I can give you a general question. The other thing is, if you like and subscribe, you'll learn when those classes, the free classes that are coming out, that are kind of in addition to the classes that we will be having at DNA Sales. Also, Selkie's Treasure is another, how do I want to say, opportunity where pre-Christmas shopping, if you celebrate Christmas, or just for your office party or whatever, we're going to be passing out some opportunities to get, if you buy this, then you get this free. Kim Myers is the owner of Selkie's Treasures, and it's kind of interesting, you know, the beautiful stuff she has, as well as DNA Sales. DNA Sales, they have, if you purchase $80 within the store, then you get a free 15-minute with me. And that's an astrological chart. If you call ahead of time, they take some work, so it takes some time. All right, so let's move forward with Aries. Okay, so one of the things about Aries that was very interesting about this was the fact that it harpened on the fact that you need to keep your commitments to the people that you made promises to, and projects. Those projects and people that have kind of fell by the wayside because of your busy schedule. And yeah, it's been busy. You need to pick them back up, and you need to continue, because those are the people and projects that will be bringing you anybody that you met in May of 2022. Excuse me. My throat's dry already. Okay. Anybody that you met in 2022 of May. What will happen is, those are might be people, projects that you make your foundation on for 2023. Aries have got amazing opportunities coming up in February and March. So we'll get to that when the time comes. But the new moon in Libra exemplifies your 11th house, and that is marriages, business contracts, collaborations, communications, your health, how do I want to say, you know, like the, what do I want to say, like your healthy habits. If you're exercising, you're going to be even more dedicated. And you'll be focused on your love and partnership at this time. With Uranus trine Venus in your 6th house, it seems like you're going to be working harder than you've ever been before. And so, but things will ease up towards the end of the year, because it's almost like you're putting up the first part of the house that you build is always the foundation, always takes the most work. And so that's exactly what you're doing. Sudden happy surprises. You may be looking at your education. And Aries, I want you to have the best October ever. All right, let's look at Taurus. Okay. So, Taurus, your October, you need to, they're very powerful manifestors. So last month had you working really hard and impressing others. This month has you need to make sure that your focus is on what you really want. You're manifesting, or you are in manifesting mode, as they say. New job opportunities are probably coming your way, if not a promotion. Write down or get a journal or something to write down your creative ideas, whether it be writing, podcasts, whatever, because those are going to be your money-making ideals later. And you also have a focus on health. The Libra new moons brings energy to your sixth house of work and health. And I do believe, because of where Venus falls, that there's a good chance of a new love interest. Uranus trine Venus, the good karma that you sow is coming back to you. The bad, I've never met a really, how do I want to say, like a Taurus that meant harm to others, but they're sometimes clueless. Like if you have an old group of friends and you'd promised them to do something, you should always do it. That's good karma. You need to kind of sort out the past. And they could be past childhood issues, whatever. And you have a Kazemi placement, and we'll go into that later, which has a new focus of new money and new sources of income, which is pretty cool. All right. Have a great October, and I'll see you in November. Gemini. Okay. Wow. October. Let me just say, I hope it slows down for you. With the Libra new moon, it brings romance, a possible new romance, emphasis on fun and family, relaxation, that kind of thing. People from your past, definitely, and creative projects. So if you have a creative bug, don't forget it. You also buy a journal, write it down, because it could be making you money later on in the year. You also, again, because of your eighth house being emphasized, what happens is whoever you were talking to in May of 2022, or what you were doing or focusing on, guess what? That is the absolute foundation. So we're looking at November. We'll talk more about that in November, but November and December, you're going to look at that as like you're building the house, foundation up. And so those 2 months are your stepping point for 2023. Now you say, well, that's kind of like, isn't that like, self-evident? It's 2 months. No, the people and the projects and the things that you were working on in your input, in your communication, is making your destiny for 2023. Also, there might be a new focus on travel. It's also an excellent time for you to manifest. Make sure you're not, I know Geminis will try to pack as much in, and I'm a Gemini, in one day as possible, and then go, oh, I had this idea and I forgot it. Well, don't do that. There's an interesting thing about Geminis. It's an emphasis on your heritage. And so you may want to look into genealogy. The other thing is Uranus trine Venus is in your fifth house of children. So you're going to be focused on your children, your grandchildren, family. Your third house of client. Third house is kind of one of those houses that emphasizes businesses that have clients. and the old ones return. Um, and it might be a time to focus on buying and selling a home. So that's something. I want Geminis to have the best October ever, and I'll see you in November. Okay, Cancer. Well, October brings kind of an emphasis of slowing down and thinking about what are those activities that bring the best self-care to myself. Um, you've been achieving your goals all along, but sometimes it's at the cost of how you really relate to others or how you relate to yourself. So you're shortchanging yourself. Your new moon in Libra, and that's happening today, is in your fourth house of home and family, home improvement. Your 11th and third house may make you a little restless and irritable, but it's because you never feel like you do enough and you're always doing enough for others. And so take it back a notch, do some self-care and get a perspective. So with Jupiter in retro for you Cancers, you might be looking at new career goals, possibly short trips, maybe education opportunities, insights, and a kind of a review of obligations. It's kind of an interesting month. You're going to be doing more in your head than you are on the outside of your life. So whether it be at work or home or whatever. So have a great October, Cancer. All right, Leo. All right, so Leo, um, October holds in the Libra new moon. It emphasizes your third house, and that's travel, communication. Your income's going up. Um, you could probably hear some good news, and I know one of the things that you might be emphasized on is training for a new job, training for an enhanced role within where you work, or possibly like a new computer system that you have to get training for that's within your own business. Uranus trine Venus it means that you're gaining in the career front, your life's work. You're gaining there. People are taking notice of the job you're doing. Your new moon is in the third house, and that has to do with security, and it might give you the writing bug, and might be questioning your faith, or if you've been a good person, or attending church, or meditation, whatever your faith may be, mosque, or you may be thinking, well, I need to get back in that. But it's very, very, very busy. And I want you to take care of yourself. Okay. Virgo. All right, October. Whoa, when I did your chart, oh, hold on. Get a pen and paper. It's coming. So Virgo, in October, it emphasizes your second house. Your hard work is paying off. It's just you're losing your identity, kind of. Does that make sense? It's like, okay, so I was this, now I'm this. You might have been promoted in the last year and you're going, but I really want to do what I did before. That's kind of, with that retro, that's kind of what happens. But the good thing is the fifth house of gifts is exemplified, and that means your earnings are going up and you'll get a fresh start in your finances. There's also a good indicator that you may have money coming in from inheritance earlier than what you thought. Now, that does not mean a death in the family. It means that it could be an investment that matured early and is being paid off, whatever. So it also talks about karmic ties and intimacy, and it's asking you pay off your debts to people, whether it be emotional, like an I'm sorry, or pay off your debts like physical world. Literally. The Libra new moon has you asking, what exactly is your calling? What exactly are you here for? Um, and it talks about expanding into new territory. And what that means is basically you may get the urge to try something new, something that you've never tried before. All right, Virgo, I want you to have the best October ever. And I'll see you in November. All right, the next one is Libra. Okay, Libra, October is action packed. Oh my God. So you're getting noticed by your superiors. And so people, those above you, are going to try to elevate you to higher positions, whether it be for your ideas. You could own your own business and someone sees how your idea is flourishing and you might be asked to do some community action work. Awesome. So also an emphasis on marriage and partnerships, real estate. And you are the other sign in which whatever you were doing May 2022, whoever you met, whatever you were working on, that was the foundation for the next 2 months, the building blocks that will make 2023 your highest earning year yet. So what I'm asking you, just for the sheer ability of Libra to weigh both sides, obviously, be decisive. Check check how many are, this is a cool thing, this is not cool. Whatever you decide, just be decisive, because you're going to have to let something go. Uranus trine Venus is a sudden positive windfall. The other thing is check details on contracts. Just saying. New moon in Libra ends up being very transformational for you. Write it down. Make it happen. Once you set it in motion, nothing can stop you. And I want you to have the best October ever. And I will see you again in November. All right, Scorpio. Okay, this is for your October configurations. Your 12th, and I'm sorry, Scorpio, this is going to be kind of a heavier month emotionally. Your 12th house is kind of emphasized, which it means like trauma and also communications. I have Jupiter in retro and the 6th house, which means money is sometimes you think you have all this money in your bank, but sometimes due to fees or whatever, or investment expenditure, you find you might be a little short. And so you're rethinking your spending habits and whether or not you need to put yourself out there again and work. So here we go. Now, work on new ideas that were yours, that were kind of like hatched out in the last 3 years. You've had an idea that you kind of been tossing back and forth, but you didn't really want to put your neck out there. My suggestion is do so. Your Libra new moon is calling for a new beginning. Not a lot of signs are having a new beginning, but yours is like starting from the scratch and new beginning. It's also talking about the 11th house of new beginnings. So, I mean, it is from all corners coming for you of what do you want with this new beginning. Also, new contracts, you check the details. You have trine in Venus, which means that there will just be a surprise out of nowhere, and a pleasant surprise. And I hope you have the best October ever, and I will see you in November. Sagittarius. Okay, here we go, Sagittarius. All right, this is your October predictions. Interesting thing. Okay, Sagittarius has had a lot of projects that just continue, like they'll get 3/4 of the way done and not finished. This is saying how you manifest a new life is via finishing your projects and making sure that they're done, because all those wonderful ideas that you have, Sagittarius very rarely think of one thing at one time. So they might be working on a project but thinking about another one. Write that down and finish the project that you have in hand, because that's your new moon in Libra. It talks about retiring of one idea and having a new idea. You also are one of the signs that whatever happened back in May of 2022, people you met, might have been a project, you might have said, no, I can't do it, whatever. But no matter what, it is, how do I want to say? It's whatever you said no to is coming back to you. And you might get the opportunity to say, yes, please, I want to do that. Your finances are going to improve. And this was the interesting thing about Sagittarius, was any childhood trauma that you may have because of that new moon in Libra ended up kind of highlighting that. You need to put it to rest. Let it go. It's getting in your way. That time frame when you're working on a project and thinking of another one doesn't need to be dwelling in the past, and I'll tell you why. Because Sagittarians are pure genius when they're working on one thing and thinking on another. So start your new plans. See friends. Sagittariuses are generally extremely social, and they get their creative juices going by meeting new people with new ideas. And you may have a project that is in the public. In other words, someone may ask you to please come in and, can you please help us with this project for the community? I feel that is what's coming ahead. Your trine Venus is basically happy surprises. So I want you to have a great October, and I'll see you in November. Okay. Capricorn. All right. Capricorn, this is your October predictions. So we're talking about the Libra and new moon. Promotions, children, new offers, and possibly a new home. There is an emphasis on real estate and assets and value with you. You're going to get an opportunity from October 7th to October 10th in regards to assets, asset attainment. Maybe you're selling something, whatever it may be. It's going to be a positive. There's possibly a new idea for businesses, or you're being called to consult. Your 10th house is emphasized, and it talks about the next 6 months are going to be a slowdown with focus. In other words, you're working on one thing, or you're focusing on something. Your value is going to go up, up, up. The other thing that I notice is you may not have perfection in your projects or your people around you, but you need to just let it go, love them, and go ahead. So there's new perspectives to be had when you do that, because your mind is not occupied. So the other thing is you may have to start taking care of a parent of someone in your family, or taking care of a loved one, like a significant other. And it says, just stay calm and stay true, and you will get there. But I wish you the best October ever, and I'll see you in November. Okay, Aquarius, this is your October configurations. Forgive my phone for going off, because it always goes off, unfortunately. So, we're looking at your Libra new moon is in the 9th house, and that's the house of creativity, getting a new perspective on things, and you might be going over those things that are taboo in your mind and dealing with them. It also emphasizes the third house as well as the 11th house, goals and dreams. You may have friends come back from the past. You might have had an issue with them or something, and you make a pleasant, how do I want to say, I'm sorry, or let it go, or whatever. But all past issues will be absolutely kind of organized, put to bed, no longer dwelled on. Does that make sense? Okay. There's other things that are going on with this new moon, and you might have the possibility of moving. Um, you have nomadic transits in your chart, and the ninth house of questioning beliefs. Like, and I know several Aquariuses. Some of my best mentors are Aquariuses, and one of the things that I noticed is once they have a belief, they always have that belief. Where I'm a Gemini, and okay, I'll listen. If it has some facts, I'll look into it, and I might be swayed, but um, I keep an open mind. Aquarius is sometimes no. So um, you'll be looking at your marriage in October. Also, you might have to slow down due to health. The equinox, Uranus trine Venus it basically keeps you guessing. There's going to be lots of surprises within your family. Might be like a new grandchild, child. Um, you may have kids moving in your house, moving out of your house. You might be moving into their house. There's lots of changes that have to do with home, family, and children. So I hope you have a great October, and I'll see you in November. Okay, the next one is Pisces. Okay, Pisces. So Pisces kind of have that cyclical of every 7 years, kind of like the 7 years itch. Some astrologers feel it's 9 years, some said it was 12. But I really do think nowadays it's 7. I notice my clients who are Pisces have a 7 year, well, I did this for 7 years, now I'm doing something else. So with that, okay, let's get to your October. So you're really kind of pondering things on new ideas, new possible plans. With that new moon in Libra, you're thinking about investing. You're getting tired of working for someone else. You might be thinking about a business, number one. You might be thinking of how do I take this money and make it work for me, like investing. You might be thinking about education, getting a new one, finishing yours, whatever. The other thing is when you're looking, you're going to be looking for long-term payoffs. This is not a short windfall where you win the lottery and you get 100 mil. This is long-term payoffs. So, okay. So then we look at eighth house of shared resources, and that might be with your partner that you are living life with, or it might be with your shared resources that you have within the company that you work for, or group or whatever. But you're looking at the shared resources and whether or not you're really giving your just due. Does that make sense? Are you being paired fairly? If it's your partner at home, are you working most of the time and they just they do contract work and they've not worked for a while? Whatever you decide, you need to definitely make sure that you're okay with the decision and that you're getting the most bang for your buck. So sometimes Pisces will let finances slide for the sake of an emotional security, but you need to have both. So any project that was like you had, now this is your one of those signs that whatever who you were talking to, whatever you were doing in May of 2022, I want you to look at whatever that was, and maybe it was a project that failed to launch. I don't know. But you may have, those are the foundations for 2023. Those people that you met, the ideas, keep all your notebooks because it will come to fruition. You need to make changes for the better. Sometimes Pisces are very altruistic and they make these choices that inevitably are nothing but, how do I want to say? They are for the betterment of others. And I'm not saying that's bad, but who's going to take care of you when you retire? Or those kind of things. You have to be able to have some security of your own. You can't just give it all away. So the other thing is you need to let go of those issues that do not serve you. So, in other words, the things that you've been grinding in your mind, let them go. You haven't fixed them yet, just let them go. It'll leave open kind of a better, how do I want to say, space for new happenings. And a better chance of literally um, coming into something new that excites you and has a good payoff. So, with that being said, I would like to thank you for listening to me. And again, I apologize. I am producing my own podcast. It's not that I'm not computer savvy, it's just hard to do everything at once. We will have guests on. And the other thing is, we will have guests on, and we will have feature products from DNA and Selkies, and also nutrition, intuition nutrition. And so with that, I hope you have an amazing October. If you like this podcast, I know I try to keep it concise. No one wants to sit here and listen to me drabble on for hours. I know I keep it concise, but if you like this podcast, will you please like and subscribe and share? I'm going to send it on a link with some of my clients, and hopefully they'll share it. The reason being is the more people we have to support us, the better off the businesses that I help out with their marketing or whatever are. If you would like how do I want to say, a oh my God, hi Angie, how are you? Good to see you. I noticed I had a comment, but anyway, the more support I get, the better it is I try to help the businesses in the metaphysical community. It's very hard to market those and do it in kind of an ethical way. So their message is not kind of, how do I want to say, diluted into just nothing but commercialism. Not that that's bad, but for us, we really want to help people. So like and subscribe and share. And if you'd like a reading, we can connect. There's my email at the bottom there. You're welcome to call me at any time. And we'll make an appointment. You can either see me at DNA Sales or over the phone or over this vehicle, which is StreamYard. I want you to have an amazing October, and I hope more people actually come on. I'm so psyched, Angie. Good to see you. All right. Have a good one.